while we're doing that, main hall staff, if you guys could start getting some questions lined up. Everybody start making your way, follow the instructions of our staff. Okay. And are we getting working on those lights? There we go.
Oh. Okay.
Slowly. Not just a bunch of shadowy figures.
Does anybody have like a really powerful flashlight we can just shine on? So to the front row, it does in fact have a flashlight. Just hold it under their face, spooky style.
And before we get started though, while folks are queuing up, can we get a quick story from either Andrea or Kelly about maybe, because you guys have extensive experience as anime dubbers, so you must have experienced those cons and those fans, yeah?
I never went to any cons in that capacity. No, it just.
That's their loss.
But I do see anime fans through My Little Pony fans and through My Little Pony experience. But no, I never went to a convention before.
No way.
My Little Pony. Yeah. How about you?
They're very particular about who they invite to anime cons. It's strange.
I'm gonna make it.
I went to one in Chicago years ago, like 15 years ago, and that was cool. That was fun. But I think, like Andrea said, I'd meet most of my anime fans either online or here. So it's always fun when people come up and they have something like a Nana thing for me to sign, or Inuyasha, or Ranma, or a plethora of other things. So yeah, hi guys.
I bought that banana.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my first kind of con experiences have been mostly MLP.
Well, that is a surprising answer. And now, I think we're ready for some questions. So let's get folks coming up and asking away.
All right. If there's any children in the line, can they please go ahead and come up front? Children get priority.
Is there?
Any
Priority,
children?
boy.
Out City. Out City.
First.
He counts. He counts. He counts.
This question is for everyone.
Go up next.
What is your biggest regret in terms of voice acting?
Biggest regrets? Wow. Oh, I got one. Lobbing us a softball to start, all right?
That's fabulous.
I've got one. I don't have many, but one very recently was that the day that I flew here, I got an audition from my agent, and I thought, I've got time, I'll get to it. And then I got all wrapped up in organizing to come here and totally missed it. So I regret, because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But apart from that, I don't really have any regrets in voiceover. It's been very good to me, and I love it through and through. So yeah, my one regret is that 2 days ago, I forgot to record an audition. That's it.
Any other regrets on the panel?
I have so many. Where do I begin? I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I'm quite hard on myself. So whenever I hear and see what I've done, I am always thinking, oh, really? Is that what I chose? Was that the best choice?
I
think
feel
I
that
could
way
have done
too
that better.
when I see your
so
work.
Really, yeah. So I don't know. It's I'd like to maybe change that about myself, but I'm always thinking, oh, maybe I could have done better. Regret.
I'm exactly the same way. I almost never watch anything I do. Because every time I see myself perform, I'm like, why did they pick that take? Every single time. The only show that I've watched that I'm actually somewhat happy with is when I did Lego Star Wars and I was the Emperor, and I thought, that's funny. Okay, I'll let that one slide. And everything else, even like with Iron Will on My Little Pony, I did the character and I was like, oh, I think this is okay. And then I watched it and I went, okay, I guess it's fine. But that's, way too hard myself.
You know, we actually had Terry Clausen here a while back. You missed him. You could have complained right to him.
Don't worry. We do.
They're on the case. All right, next question.
I have a question, but can I ask one for my friend too?
Of course.
She wants to know if anyone on the cast likes her favorite band, the Beach Boys.
The Beach Boys?
Of course.
Who doesn't like the Beach Boys?
I like the Beach Boys.
I also wanted to know what your favorite part of being on the cast of My Little Pony is.
I think kind of what we spoke to before about getting to meet you fans, which is an incredible experience, and also to get to work together.
And cookies.
Cookies good, yeah. Being a part of something that, like I've done little things that didn't have much of a fan base, or at least not a vocal or a reaching out kind of fan base. And so being part of something that, getting into it, I was actually given that talk, the Gene Roddenberry talk that John got. I was given that by one of the directors of My Little Pony on the very first day I recorded. They were just like, get ready. I was like, okay, I'll be ready. And it's actually ended up being the greatest.
All right, next question.
Hi. It's so hard to see.
Hello. Yep, hello. So I noticed that a lot of you seem to play, well, a lot of reformed villains on the cast.
Oh!
Discord, Pony of Shadows, Iron Will I think counts.
Yeah.
Even Andrea if you count the Pinkie Pie clones. Oh, can't forget the main one, Starlight.
Oh!
So, how was it playing villains for the short time that you did?
Villains have all the fun.
Oh, they're the best.
Yeah.
Villains have all the fun.
What about you, John? Villains? Can you give us a little villainous insight?
What do you love about villains?
Yeah, I've played a lot of villains. You don't play a villain, believe it or not. Even somebody as horrible as Hitler didn't get up in the morning and say, how villainous can I be today? You think as the character that what you're doing is the right thing. That's how you play it. So I have played a lot of very righteous characters.
Misunderstood characters.
Yeah.
All right, next question, please.
So this is to basically the whole panel and whoever wants to answer it. What was the most fun that you've had during voice acting for My Little Pony? Or in general?
Wow. Like in life?
Well, let's narrow the scope. Let's stick with your most
When
fun
that old
experience.
lady slipped on the banana and broke her hip, that was great.
We have a lot of fun at work, which we always say, but I find it really difficult to recount, that specific joke that made you laugh. And even if I did, it would probably, you have to be in the moment, which is a lame answer. But we do have a lot of fun, and we work with a lot of very, very funny people. So when we're in the booth, we're constantly joking and laughing between takes.
Sometimes on takes.
Yeah, sometimes on takes.
My goal is always to try and make the cast laugh, but not because of the lines of my character. Like, for a long time I was doing a show called Dino Trucks. Kelly was on that as well, on Netflix, and I would always record from LA, and the rest of the cast was in Vancouver. And so I had this opportunity to be able to slip in little one-liners that I knew the cast would hear, that the directors in the room wouldn't because they're too busy,
You were
trying
such
to
a
be
stinker
professional.
on that show.
Every time. But again, like Andrea says, it's hard to remember a certain moment. But yeah, tons of fun. The people are great. The actors we work with are awesome. Super fun. That was a really lame story. I was trying to come up with something good, and it just didn't happen. Sorry.
All right, let's go to our next question.
This is for all of you. Do any of you guys think you're a better voice actor than one another?
The kids are coming with
right there.
These are great. Whose idea was it to put them in the front?
What's your biggest regret? Do you think you're better than the
Love
people?
them. Really looking forward to the kids panel later now.
I love love it. The honest questions that everybody wants to ask. The kids are just like, hey, do you think you're better than me?
I think they're aiming for
How did you get to the front of the line?
No, I don't. I don't think I'm better than the people next to me. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, yeah.
All right, next question.
That's great.
You didn't really want an answer to that one.
Love that.
This question is for everybody. Who is your favorite My Little Pony?
Their own characters.
I love Granny Smith.
Oh! Granny Smith!
I have a bunch of favorites. It kind of changes with my mood, but I really do love Fluttershy. She's my favorite of the main six. She loves animals, and I think kindness is probably like the friendship quality I would prioritize over anything else. And I love Maud. She's great. Oh, and Gummy.
Taste.
I don't know, they're all
Taste there. Taste.
Did anyone see today's episode?
Bridges!
Did you like it?
Bridges! Bridges! Guys, Bridges.
What about you, Trevor? Who's best pony?
There's Bridges, of course.
Who is best pony?
Who's your favorite pony?
That sounds like it could be a Japanese game show. Who is best pony? That probably is a Japanese game show. Fluttershy. That's the right name, isn't it? It's Fluttershy.
Here's an Andrea ask.
So please revise and say Fluttershy. Fall in line.
Yes, Andrea. I'm sorry. It's Fluttershy.
Thank you.
You have won! Who is best pony?
All right, next question.
Can any of the characters see into the multiverse?
I can't see anything.
I don't know. Discord, can you see out into the multiverse?
Discord, Universe, apparently.
Yeah.
There you go.
All the time.
Confirmed.
It makes sense now. It kind of makes sense now, bro.
All right, let's get the next question. That was a quick answer. I like that.
My question is for Bill. When you were cast as Bright Mac, were you aware of how long the fandom was waiting to see one of Applejack's parents and the impact that episode would have on the fandom? And if so, what was your reaction to it?
Good question.
Thank you for the question. No, I wasn't aware. I just auditioned from home, as I usually do, and then I got a call back and I went to the studio, and then when I was cast, on the day that we were recording, I believe it was either Mike, who's one of the directors on the show, or Jim, one of the two, sort of took me aside and was just like, okay, so this character kind of has an important role and, has been mentioned and talked about, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is like a big deal. So I was like, so don't screw this up. So I really had no idea that it was a character that meant a lot to people. And then when I saw the episode, it was pretty emotional. It was strange watching something I did, and then, the writing on that episode was amazing. That was a really fantastic episode. There were a couple of moments where I got choked up and I felt like a real asshole because I was just like, I'm in this, and I was just like, it's so good.
Was there any additional pressure with the guest starring opposite Shatner?
No, unfortunately, because if Shatner had been there, I probably would have been like, William Shatner. I used to collect the original series Star Trek VHS tapes. But he wasn't there. We knew that he was going to be grandpa, but we didn't unfortunately get to record. And maybe people knew, but I had no idea that Felicia Day was going to be playing Pear Butter. But you better believe that I tell people, well, my co-stars William Shatner and Felicia Day. But yeah, it's nice to have been in an episode starring those two wonderful performers. But Yeah, I knew that it would get some notoriety because William Shatner was one of the guest stars on that. And I was just happy to piggyback on that.
There you have it.
Thank you.
Next question.
Okay, my question is for Andrea. I have some cake here from Nothing But Cakes over there.
Oh.
And it's one of my dreams to eat cake with Pinkie Pie. Would you do me the honor? I don't see us still intact, so I had poison already.
That's what Marie Antoinette said.
What kind of cake is it?
Everybody's standing up like, ooh, the cake!
They're cupcakes. Yeah, that's fine. We don't need any cake. No problem.
Nobody's dream would be cake.
I personally hate cupcakes.
Oh, cheers. They cheers the cupcakes.
Oh my
I'm just
God.
going to provide some color commentary. They're biting the cupcakes.
They seem to be biting the cupcakes.
The cupcake is good. The cupcake is good. The evil has landed. The cake is good.
Oh, you know what? Share them around. Why don't you guys? It looks like the cupcakes have been left, but I'm sorry, I just spoke for the group, but I feel like you guys should enjoy the cupcakes.
Wow.
Oh, wow, they're gorgeous.
Maybe.
That one looks like red velvet.
Maybe.
Okay, next question. We're making dreams come true here, folks.
The kids are all like, give us cupcakes.
First off, Andrea, thanks for mentioning the LASIK. My friend had very big doubts about that.
Oh, yeah. No, it's great. Tears of joy.
Also, my questions to John DeLancie. Thanks. It's cool that this is your first BABSCon, and I wanted to ask, could Discord sing "You Are My Sunshine"?
The question
I'm paid not to sing.
Money well spent.
The only song I've ever sung professionally, actually the only song I think I've ever sung, was that song I did for My Little Pony. Yeah, truly. Yeah, a glass of water, please. Which was fun, sort of. But it was hard to do. And my wife kept on saying, who's actually a professional singer, John, you have to keep the beat. I went, I had no idea. That makes it work a little easier, doesn't it?
Well, it's become a bit of a running gag that somebody inevitably gets asked to sing a couple bars of "You Are My Sunshine." Would you be willing? No is an acceptable answer.
I'll do it.
Okay, Bill, give it.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take our little sunshine away.
Can everyone but Pinkie Pie do their best Pinkie Pie impression?
All right, Trevor, give us your best Pinkie Pie, man.
Is this an extension to the "Are you better than your other voices"?
Yes, yes, it is.
I need a script. I need a line. Okie dokie Loki? All right, well, how's it supposed to sound? Okie dokie Loki! All right, no problem. Audition, Trevor Devall, Pinkie Pie, take it.
Okie dokie, Loki. I'm in trouble.
How about you, Bill?
Okie dokie, Loki.
Kelly.
Okie dokie, Loki.
I said Kelly. I said Kelly.
This was a mistake. This was a mistake.
We're not going to ask John to do that one now.
It's my turn now. Okie dokie.
That's actually exactly how Pinky sounds when she first wakes up.
First thing in the morning, Pinky.
All right, next up. Who's got the next question?
Sorry, one second. Yellow. All right, so I got a question for all of you, mainly Andrea, because I've seen pictures. You know what I'm saying? No, not those pictures. No. Let me rephrase that. I've seen vacation images. Hey, no. All right.
I don't know where this is going.
Okay, yeah. So Las Vegas represent. All right. What is your favorite part? Any of you that's been there? What's your favorite part about Las Vegas?
Your favorite part about what?
Thing about Las Vegas?
No. That's not it.
I'm actually going to a wedding there next month. So that's gonna be fun. I don't know, everything, eating, music, shows.
Do you work for the Vegas Tourist Board? Is that what this is?
Brunch
Wait.
buffet.
Yeah.
Quick, get someone up to the stage to ask about Vegas.
No, I work at the residential area that I live in.
Oh.
Dueling Pianos Bar.
That's the best part.
Yeah, that is the
I like Container Park on Fremont. That's super fun.
signs that you were...
Yeah, it's this
that's the
cool
neon-
little
the neon
like
light?
entertainment district, and it's all of these shops and restaurants and things built out of shipping containers. And there's a stage and live bands play, and there's a whiskey bar and a really amazing taco place. It's super fun. It's a great place to go if you just sort of don't want to be in Vegas for a little bit. It's the only place I found with recycling bins in Vegas. It appealed to my hippie nature.
There you go. Next question.
Can you all do an impression of Fluttershy?
I see where this is going. This time, let's start with Kelly.
Fine.
Yay.
Well, I guess it's just because I really want to be as assertive like you are, Will. So maybe you can teach me how to be more assertive?
Really?
I don't know if this was a good idea to ask people to do this. It's embarrassing for everyone.
And how about you, John? You did Pinkie Pie. Can you do Fluttershy? Anything at all?
They don't ask me this shit at Star Trek conventions.
Well, I don't know. How about your best Patrick Stewart impression?
Mr. Poopy.
All right, next question, please.
Hi, everybody. I just had a question and a request for my mother, actually. The question is for John and Kelly. Do you have a theory, or do you know where Starlight and Discord were during the siege of Canterlot during the events of the movie, or were you guys just hiding?
I was totally hiding. I think she probably got turned into stone or whatever it was with the rest of them. Just wasn't looking the right direction and spent the movie as a hunk of rock. That's my theory.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, I'm serious. What is he talking about?
So same, yes?
Yeah, the same. I was turned into a stone, and I was in Las Vegas at and all I can think of is I want one of those cupcakes.
request I have, my mom's birthday is going to be at the end of the month. Is it possible you guys can sing happy birthday to my mother, Rose?
Is that all? Don't you want us to go to her house? Where does she live? Because we can go there. Yeah, we have time.
Does she live in Vegas?
No. She's up in Washington right now. She's visiting, or she's actually spreading my grandmother's ashes right now. So,
Well, now I feel like a jerk.
I can't get a hold of her or anything right now.
And her name is Rose?
Her name is Rose, yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Rose. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much.
All right, next question. Who knew they had that harmony in them?
Which pony do you dislike?
Which pony do we dislike?
Good question.
Yeah.
No cupcakes for the kids today.
Silver spoon.
No,
Good question.
they're impossible to dislike, aren't they? They're just so great. I dislike any of them.
This is about friendship, people. Friendship! Positive!
Everyone I don't provide the voices for.
All right, well, let's get up to the next question, please.
Thank you, cupcake person. These are amazing.
Okay, what's your favorite season of MLP?
Favorite season of My Little Pony?
Why is that the reaction?
Season 7, because every one of my characters is in it.
I'm partial to season 9.5. You haven't seen that one. It was left entirely on the cutting room floor, but it was gold. It was gold.
It was I and Will's spin-off.
Yeah. Wacky comedy, Iron Will and Fancy Pants and Hoity Toity all living in an apartment together. Just trying to pay the rent. Oh, yeah. Just trying to get by. Anyway, that's
I'll give a serious answer. I'm actually partial to 6. It was fun. I had a lot of fun playing Starlight in that season and seeing her grow and learn lessons and fail and succeed and make friends. So that one's my favorite because it was the most fun to do, I think.
What about you, Andrea? You've been there the whole time. What was your favorite season?
I don't know. The first season.
Do you have a favorite season, John?
Can you tell us the ranking?
Yes. It goes 3, 4, 7, 9, 8, 3, and 1.
Okay, next question.
Hi, this is for John. So you've done Star Trek TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager. Now we have Star Trek Discovery. Would you be interested in guest starring, or if they had an offer for you, is that something that you would be interested in?
You mean sort of geriatric Q? Could come on with, kind of like this.
Or even just a different character. Brent Spiner was an Enterprise as an ancestor of Data or of his creator.
Yeah, and how successful was that? I don't know. I'm not looking to play Q for the rest of my life, although I'm sure my gravestone will say that. I really can't imagine how they would use me, other than, frankly, as a disembodied voice. And then I'd be very happy to do that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Thank you.
Please. Uh-oh, someone's got a big Starlight Glimmer.
Yeah, I do.
How you doing, Tyler?
Oh, Bill, you recognize me. Thank God. First and foremost, John, I love the Brony documentary you did. Kelly, obviously, big fan here. And Bill recognizes me.
Trevor, Andrea, you're chopped liver.
No, Andrea, I love
We're
all
used
of
to
you.
that.
But my question for you is, out of all the episodes you've either worked on in My Little Pony, which is your favorite?
Who is this for?
For everybody?
Everybody?
Yeah, for everybody.
My favorite episode is still Party of One.
My favorite episode hasn't aired yet.
My favorite was the season 7 finale. Because I got to be 2 characters. No, it's playing Pony of Shadows and Stygian was fantastic because I got to play 2 very different characters that are one and the same. 2 sides to the same coin.
So wait, so both you and Trevor have a strange connection to Andy Serkis.
Well, yeah, but I mean, not through the entertainment business.
Well, no, I'm just meaning you got to be essentially, Gollum and Smeagol at the same time, and then,
Oh right, yeah, I was going to say we don't talk about me and Andy.
It's like 6 degrees of Andy Serkis in here.
That's true. We should all be so lucky.
Next question?
Next question.
Please.
First off, Kelly, thanks for giving Misty Fly a voice. Misty Fly the Wonderbolt. But this question goes to all you guys. Has any fan ever walked up to you and did or said something that inspired you?
I love this. This is the new way to just have any conversation. I was walking down the street in New York City. I don't know if it inspired me, but it certainly got my attention. I was walking down the street in New York City a long time ago now, and you have to keep your eyes peeled when you're in certain areas of the city. And I saw a very unsavory guy come up onto the block walking towards me. And I sort of made a little bit of an adjustment, and he made an adjustment. And then I made another adjustment, and he made another adjustment. And we're getting closer and closer, and I'm beginning to go, I'm gonna get mugged. And he comes right up to me. I've stopped now, and my legs are a little bent to make sure that and he comes up really close to me, and he goes, "Are you Q?" And I go, "Yeah. Can you bring people back from the dead?" And I said, "Only people I like." And he went, "Cool."
That is horrifying!
But you'd never give up showbiz, would you, John?
That is inspiring. That's
Case closed. Next question, please.
All right, next question, please.
Right, hi guys.
Hi.
3 things actually, since we got a little bit of time for it. Trevor Devall, I was in Fiesta Equestrian when he shut down, that was last year. Hello, nice to see you.
Hey, bring the mic closer so that I
I
can hear
remember
you.
asking a question about Fancy Pants, which was
Okay.
my background character. And I was wondering, what's happened to him? Very easy. He hasn't been here for 2 seasons almost.
What happened to Fancy Pants? Is that the question?
That is the question. What happened to Fancy Pants?
What's going on?
Well, I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you. I'm afraid Fancy Pants has been sent away in a covert operation for the British government. I'm not at liberty to disclose the details, but you will be informed when the time is right.
I'm going to listen. The next thing is not necessarily a question. Bill Newton, the episode you starred in, The Perfect Pair, is now rated as one of the best episodes of Code ever. Period of the story. Hey, go give it up for him. Give it up for him. Come on.
Give it up for Bill Newton, everybody. Bill Newton. Yeah.
You have no idea how much you cry with that one direction. Thank you very much. And third, for Kelly Sheridan, what is your opinion on the evolution of your character on Starlight?
Put your mic up close to your face, if you would.
What is your opinion on the evolution of Starlight Glimmer? Because this is a very interesting topic I'd like to hear from you.
What's my theory on the evolution of Starlight Glimmer?
Yeah.
I don't really have a theory.
What's your opinion?
My opinion? I think it's awesome. I mean, I do miss her nasty, mischievous, scheming ways, 'cause that's always fun. But I think it's really cool to see her evolve and grow. And she had this big epiphany at the end of season 5, which happens to a lot of people in their lives when they're going down a certain path. But it's all the work that that's why I said season 6 was my favorite. It's fun to see all of the work she does in that season, trying to redeem herself and be a better person and make friends. And she doesn't always succeed at first. And I think that's something that most people can relate to. So I think it's cool. I really like what they've done with the character.
Thank you so much, guys. We love it.
Thank you. All right, next question, please.
What's your favorite episode of your moments, your favorite?
Favorite episode?
Favorite moments of the episode.
Favorite moments of an episode?
With your main cast character.
Okay, with your main cast character. So yeah, well, okay. I guess the question is like, well, what's been your favorite moment playing your primary characters?
I don't have a primary character.
Oh, well, then the ones you have played, Bill.
Well, they're all my babies.
Oatmeal, are you crazy? Next question.
Thank you.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Good.
I have a question. So, did a animated crossover between My Little Pony and Star Trek: The Next Generation? How would it be?
My Little Pony, The Next Generation, is that what you're...
I saw some fantastic artwork that somebody made, which is where Q had brought the entire crew of the Enterprise into the world of My Little Pony, and they were not happy about it.
Was that a fan base thing?
Yeah. I saw a fan piece of art. Have you seen it?
No, but
it was
that's
great.
great.
So yeah, you were, I believe you were Discord, and you had brought everybody. So they'd made like a little wolf pony and a dog pony, and there was the Riker pony. Nice.
Right.
It was a fantastic piece of art. It was really good.
The cleverness of some of the fans, I mean, I haven't kept up with it, but, when this first started, at least for me, I sort of looked at a lot of those, and some of them were very, very well done. Actually, Lauren Faust said to me, some of these people I could literally hire right off the street and have them work for me, that they're at that level.
Yeah, there are some amazingly talented people in the
Yeah.
community. But I think it would look like that piece of fan artwork. I think everybody involved from the Enterprise would be unhappy, right?
Well, especially Worf. I've seen that piece
Yeah,
of
you've
art,
seen
and-
that. Yeah,
and
Worf, I think, screamed, "I am not a little pony!"
That's funny because I was picturing it the other way, like the ponies go on the Enterprise.
Oh.
Which would just be havoc.
It's actually a rule of the internet that if it exists, there's a pony of it.
Somebody sent me a Cthulhu pony the other day. I thought that was pretty wild. Little pony with tentacles and evil. That was fun.
The pony that will be heralding the old gods.
The pony that shall not be named.
Yeah,
that was wild.
Awesome.
All right, thank you very much. Next question, please.
Kelly Sheridan, during the dinner yesterday, you mentioned that Fluttershy was your favorite, so I got you a little something.
Oh my goodness! Thanks!
Hang on, I'll get it. And no, this isn't just an
Bill's
excuse to try and get a hug out of you.
Aww,
Hope you enjoy it.
thanks. Oh, she's a sea pony. Ooh, thank you.
Can you eat it?
Can I eat it? Crying out loud.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I have a fun hypothetical question for Andrea, Trevor, and Kelly. Since we have so many of the Wonderbolts gathered here today, specifically the voices of Thunderlane, Misty Fly, and Fleetfoot, I was just wondering, what do you think the Wonderbolts would be like out of practice or performances? Just hanging out together? What would they talk about? What would they like to do together?
Alright, what
What would the
Wonderbolts
Wonderbolts do
like
together?
hanging out?
Don't they just practice all the time? They're pretty intense.
And drink cider?
Suspicious pause before cider.
It's definitely just regular cider. It's not fermented in any way.
No.
Alright, well, I don't know, what, if they did engage in a leisure activity, what would your Wonderbolts do for...
Bowling.
Bowling?
Definitely bowling.
Bolting.
I guess they'd be hanging out with the big Lebowski ponies.
Which I'm sure exist as well.
No, well, yeah, no, they do.
Of course they do. Of course they do. Fair stand.
All right. Next question, please.
Hi, hello, everybody.
Hi.
Well, first off, I didn't think I'd ever find myself up here in front of you professionals, but
Well, I didn't think I'd ever find myself here in front of you.
all right. But at the question at hand, do you have any advice for not just me, but for all the aspiring voice actors and actresses out there? Give it up.
Yes. Persevere. It's hard, and you have to continually work at it. And one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever heard was don't quit, because you don't know when the next opportunity is coming, and you don't know, when you will get better to a level that people will notice you or hire you, or the right person hears what you're doing and then wants to, give you that job. Perseverance is probably one of the biggest things, because for every person that does give up and quit, you're still there. That's mine.
Any other advice out there on the table for aspiring voice actors, outside of auditioning for the Voice Equestria, that is? Sorry, I had to get the plug in.
Yeah, no, it's actually a great place to start. And practice your sight reading. Practice just reading things out loud. It's more difficult than you think it would be. Boring, but it's helpful.
It's the easiest job in the world. It doesn't take any effort.
Anybody can do it.
Yeah, everybody can do it.
Don't
tell them the secrets. It's not even
It's like
real
being
acting.
president of the United States.
Exactly. Yeah, so on that note, I just want to say that voice acting it's a terrific job. It's the best job. I love it. It's the best. Yeah, seriously though, it's about the love, baby. It's all about the love. You gotta love the job. You gotta love every aspect of it. And you gotta love the people you work with. And you gotta love sight reading. You gotta love persevering. You gotta love the highs and lows. You gotta love everything about it. Yeah.
All right.
Go
Great.
get 'em,
Yeah.
Trevor.
Next question, please.
I actually have two questions. First for you, John. It's from a friend from earlier yesterday. It's for a part about Eugene Bradford.
Can you repeat that?
Sorry?
It's for a part about Eugene Bradford.
Oh, Eugene Bradford?
Yes.
Yes. What did you want to know about him?
It's for a part about him.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, what was your
very
favorite
part
thing
about it.
Yeah.
Well, it was a character that I was hired to do, which was intended to be a psychopath, and I just simply brought a sense of humor to it, and it really took off. It became very popular because of that. So that was sort of the most. And working with a group of wonderful actors, we spend a lot of time laughing.
And
I'm taking a break for it.
Next is for a part about MLP. It's for a part.
Favorite parts of MLP?
Like you're for a part I'll work on it.
Oh, gosh. No, all of them. I think we talked about a lot of favorite parts
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of any more.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. All right, and by the way, we've only got about 5 minutes left, so we can probably get maybe 2 or 3 questions in.
So I guess, sorry, it's not my job, but I was going to say, if people have already asked a question who are in the line, maybe move to the back so that people who haven't asked one can ask.
Yep.
Just because, everybody's got questions.
Okay, these are for Kelly. So, first question is about the Equestrian Girls special, Mirror Magic. So, one of the highlights of the special was Starlight and Sunset meeting and becoming friends. So, I wonder if you could tell us how was that friendship planned out when they were making the special, and especially the dialogue between them. And my other question is it's about Starlight in general. Hypothetically, if Starlight was an element, what would she be an element of?
Let's start with that one. What would Starlight's element be?
Water. No. Well, I'm going to steal this answer. Can't remember who said it first. It was either Amy or Lauren, I'm not sure, but they said if Starlight did have an element, it would probably be forgiveness, which I think is pretty appropriate. And in terms of creating mirror magic, I had zero to do with that. They sent me a script and told me to show up at 9 a.m. and Rebecca and I recorded it. So I don't know, some brilliant writer, whoever wrote that episode, wrote it and figured it all out, and I'm just the schlub who comes in and says the lines. So the credit goes to the the credit goes to the people who create the specials.
There you go.
Thank you. I see a little,
keep up the good work, all
I
of
see
you.
a little person in the line there. Can we get the young person up to the front?
Little unicorn.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, she's not first time.
She's being polite, that's nice.
There we go.
Hi guys, this question is, I guess, mainly for Andrea. A technical question about how you guys go about recording everything, since you say you guys recorded an ensemble, all 6 of you, I guess, or no, sorry, not 6.
5.
5, yes. All of you guys recording in one booth. Since you and Ashley do 2 characters, do you guys do like, okay, your ensemble, you're gonna play Pinkie Pie, and then you go back and overdub, or do you literally bounce back and forth with your characters?
We bounce back and forth, and then when we do overlapped lines, we count it in twice. So Tabitha counts us in very, very quickly. She goes 1, 2, 3, and then we'll do whatever we're doing, and then Ashley will count in for the second one, and then her and I will do our second overlap.
I see, and then, okay, I was just wondering how that worked, or if you have like a conversation between the 2 characters that you have to voice.
Yeah, we just go for it. Yeah.
It's pretty amazing, especially when you're talking to yourself in the scene. It's
Feels
really
a little
exciting.
crazy, but it works.
I don't quite know how to answer that part. But I tell you, there was some comment here about how what we do obliquely sometimes affects people in ways that we were not aware of. I've had a couple of people, not anymore, but when it came out, I had a couple of young men, young boys, look at me very obliquely and kind of go, or very askance, and they kind of go, hey man, were you Jane's father? I go, yeah. Ah, well now I guess I know what my parents went through. Yeah, and I thought, here it was, that they were drug addicts, who were hopefully not drug addicts anymore, maybe they were, and they could not see what their parents had gone through, were going through, but they could see it through this experience, and I thought that was terrific. So that was one of the nice things that I took away from Breaking Bad.
All right, we have time for one last question, so this radiant Pinkie Pie right here will be the last.
Hi, John, I love you. Are you married?
Well, I don't know. I kind of let me think about it for a moment.
John, we're at a convention. The rules don't apply.
What happens at a con stays at a
Whatever
con.
happens in, where are we? San Mateo, stays in San Mateo.
That's not right.
I'm on the 6th floor.
Yes, I am married. So thank you.
Was that your question?
No, my real question. Wait, is it permanent?
Get on with it.
Okay, my real question. Sorry. Kind of a weird question, but if you guys could go through a magic portal and become one of your characters, who would you pick?
Okay, there you go.
Magic portal and become one of our characters. Who would we pick? Is that
Then let's
Like
not
John,
limit
would you
this
go-
to My Little Pony. Any of your characters, who would you be?
Oh.
Like, would John go to the Star Trek world or Equestria, or would somebody go somewhere else or somewhere else?
Wow.
All right, there we go. Who's got an answer queued up?
If you could become one of your characters for real, which character would you be?
In their world.
In their world.
Leave behind your voice actor or actress persona and become a Draconicus.
Well, just before we answer that though, that's sort of what we do. We already do that.
So which
I
would
was
we go-
in
which would we go back to?
Washington D.C. playing a character called Kurt Seaman, aka Donald Trump, and I got to spend about 3 months in that sort of high aggressive, everything is win-win kind of, on stage operating that way. And so you kind of learn a lot about your characters that way. That's how, I was happy for that show to be over. So that's what we do.
Yeah, that's our job.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're lucky that we don't have to choose.
Yeah, I think one of the great parts about what we do is that we get to go through a portal and become these characters. But an equally great part is that we get to then step back out.
Yes.
At the end.
Yeah.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly.
I love you guys so much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
All right, well, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for joining the panel. Let's have a round of applause for our guests one more time for John DeLancie, Andrea Libman, Kelly Sheridan, Trevor Devall, and Bill Newton.
Thank you. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for coming.
Enjoy the rest of the con, everybody. Thank you very, very much.